Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Yena Akshara Samamnayam Adhigamya Maheshwarat Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam Tasmai Paninaye Namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Sampraktau Vagarthav Pratipattaye Jagatav Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. So what we've been seeing in the last few classes is we've been seeing Halanta Pratipadika. So we'll continue with the Halanta Pratipadika and see some Halanta Sandhi as well. So consonant Sandhi and consonant ending Pratipadika. So we'll chant our Maheshwara Sutra. Om A I Un Rilk E Ong I Ouch Hayavarata Larn Nyama Garnanam Jabhanya Gardhadash Jabagadadash Kapha Chatha Chatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. And our Supratyaya, 21 Supratyaya, sup ending. Su, O, jas, ort, shas, ta, bhyam, bis, nge, bhyam, bhyas, ngasi, bhyam, bhyas, ngas, os, ni, os, sup. So we want to start off with this Marut, where we left off in our last class. So Marut is on page 130, I believe, page 130. It's page 130, you see Marut. So Marut is the name of Vayu Devata, the wind god. And so this is Takaranta Punlinga. So ta ending masculine Shabda. So some things that we saw from Marut is essentially, right, this is just Sanskrit addition, right, noun addition. So we take the Pratipadika and then we add it to our 21 pratyas. There's some things to be noting of is that, first of all, 1-1, you have this two forms, Marut, Marud, and we actually haven't seen the Sandhi for why that happens quite yet. So why there's two forms, not only one form. So two forms, we'll hopefully get to see that in today's class. We did see why Marut becomes Marud, Bhyam. This is because of that Jashtvam Sandhi. Jashtvam Sandhi, we'll review that quickly as well today. But when you have that consonant at the end of a pada, it becomes in the, it becomes one of the third column. One in the third row, so jabagada dash, jash, jabagada dash. And so here becomes, ta becomes da. So marudbhyam, marudbihi, marudbhyam, marudbhyaha, marudbhyam, marudbhyaha. And this does not change, and we'll see that also why it just becomes marutsu. So we didn't also talk about this. Okay. So these are our 21 of Marut. Hopefully they look okay, right? Again, most of this is just that addition. So if you go onto the same page there, you'll see the next word is suhrit. Now this is under the same section because essentially the same rules apply, right? So this is not too different. We get those two forms, suhrit and suhrid. Then we have, right, suhrit plus o, so suhrit, suhrido. Suhrid plus as, suhridaha. That sakara becomes a visarga. Suhrid plus becomes suhridam. Suhrid plus o, suhrido, suhridaha, suhrida, suhridbhyam, suhridbihi, suhride, suhridbhyam, suhrid plus byas is suhridbhyaha. The sa becomes visarga. Suhrid aha, suhrid oho, suhridam, suhridi, suhridoho, and this becomes suhrit. We'll also get to see that today, why it becomes suhrit, but suhrit su. Okay, it becomes takara. Hey suhrit or suhrid, hey suhrido, hey suhridaha. So suhrit is a friend, a good friend. Okay, so this is just adding them with some notes that we're going to have to make with 1-1 and 7-3. Here, jashtvam does not apply. Well, actually it does, but it just replaces itself. Dakara becomes dakara again. So you don't see the change. So nothing really happens. Okay, so Neelima, do you have a question? I can unmute you.
My question is the word suhrud. Do you say it's suhrud or do you say surad? Is it ru or ra?
So it's the vowel r. So we say ri, like r. So suhrid. So in Gujarati, we say ra, like we use it suhrad. Or Krishna, for example, we say Krishna. But it's, right, in Sanskrit, the pronunciation is r. So Krishna or suhrit. So that's the difference. Yeah, so hopefully that clarifies that. Okay. What we want to do is we're going to look at this a bit more. So what I want to do is so we saw suhrit, we saw marut. What I want to do is look at jashtvam and then this new sandhi, what we're going to call car-tva. So jashtvam is in your sandhi book. So Krishna, so it's Krishna in Sanskrit, Krishna, right? Generally in Gujarati, people say Krishna, Kru, right? And so here the same thing, it's R. So suhrit. So the vowel is ri, R-I. So this is the sandhi we saw last time. What we saw is basically what happens is any of the, so jal stands for all of the consonants except for semivowels and nasals, right? So any consonant except for a semivowel and nasal, when it's at the end of a pada, so when that consonant is at the end of a pada, what happens is it becomes jash. So it becomes this third jabagaradash. So if I have ka or ka, they become ga, cha or cha, they become ja, ta or ta becomes da. It always becomes what's in the third row. So ta becomes da, pa becomes ba. Ga becomes ga, ja becomes sa, alpa prana ja, dha becomes alpa prana da, dha becomes alpa prana da, bha becomes alpa prana ba. Okay, so that's Jashtam in a nutshell. Basically, you're going to get this soft consonant, the third of the class. So when you have a vowel at the end of a pada, it's going to be that third of the class. So that's why we had marut, plus bhyam. Remember that this bhyam is in the pada section. Right? So that means this anga is padanta, ending with the pada. It's the end of the pada. This dakara is the end of the pada. So because it's at the end of the pada, this dakara, or this takara, sorry, will get replaced by dakara. What's in the third of the class, right? So marut, takara becomes marud. Marud bhyam. Marud bhyam. So now what we want to see is, why is there, so we want to look at this 7-3. So suhrit. Or if we look at marut, marutsu. Okay, we want to look at this a little bit more in detail. Because if you look at this 7-3 is also part of that pada section. So marut should be, that should be takara at the end of a pada. So jashtam should apply and it should become marudsu. How come it doesn't become marudsu? Does that question make sense? Why does that not become marudsu and it says marutsu? Because, right, all of these become marud, dakara. How come this says marut, dakara? And the reason that is there is because there's another sandhi that takes place, this 8-4-55. This is what we call car-tva sandhi. Okay, so you're going to look for in the index, it's a little bit after jashtam sandhi. It's farther down in your book. It's called car-tva. Looks like this. Car-tva is number 14. So you'll find car-tva. Now, first we'll look at it as it is, and we're going to see what it's saying in the sutra, and then I'll make it a little bit easier and explain what is happening. Okay. What it's saying is char is the substitute for jal when that jal is followed by kar. Did you understand? Yeah, good. What is jal? Do I have, yeah, my Marut-śabdha. Jal is all the consonants except for semivowels and nasals. Right? Consonants minus semivowels and minus nasals, right? So most of the consonants there. What is char? Char is these hard consonants. So first of the class and shash and the sibilants. Sorry, not all of the sibilants, not all this section, but char, it ends here, right? So first of the class and the sibilants, the sa, sha, sa. So what I'll write is first class and sibilants. And it gets replaced by kar. Again, I'll make this a little bit simpler in a second. But kar is all of the hard consonants. This whole section. Right? All the hard consonants. So basically, if a consonant is followed by a hard consonant, then it becomes a hard consonant. Okay. Here, I made it a little bit simpler in this red here. Oh, don't know why that happened. But this red up here, you can see this. This is going to make it a little bit simpler if you want to write this down. So consonant, right? Any consonant except for semivowel or nasal, which is jal, right? So a consonant, when it's followed by a hard consonant, becomes first of the class. So when a consonant is followed by any of these hard consonants, it becomes any of the first of the class. Ka, cha, ta, tha, pa. So, for example, we have da, not alpa prana, da. Right? For example, marutsu is, and then marud, right? We have marud because we apply jashtom sandhi, right? Jashtom sandhi, we would get marud. Why is jashtom sandhi applied there? Because I have a consonant at the end of a pada, it becomes a third of the class. So da. So marut becomes marud. Now I have a dakara followed by a sakara. I have a dakara followed by a sakara. Dakara is a consonant. Sakara is a hard consonant. It's a sibilant. This dakara will get replaced by ta, which is in the first of the class, right? So da gets replaced by dakara. Whatever it is, if it's followed by a hard consonant, it's going to become this. So if I have ga, it's going to be, If I have ka, ga, it's going to become ka. If I have cha, ja, it's going to become cha. If I have da, it's going to get replaced by ta. Ta, da, it's going to get replaced by da, ta. Pa, ba, ma, it's going to get replaced by pa. Moral of the story is that marud, it becomes marut, then it becomes marud, and then it goes back to marut. So in case you were curious and you wanted to do some mental gymnastics, this is why you get marutsu, because of this sandhi here. It doesn't become, even though that is in the pada section, this still becomes marut. It goes back to marut. You can see this here as well. We don't know this sandhi yet, so we can start here. So we've rik plus su. Rik plus su, we do jastam sandhi. So ka becomes third of the class, so it becomes ga. So rig su. Murdanya sandhi happens, so the su becomes shu. So rig shu. And then this ga is followed by a hard consonant, right? Ga is followed by a hard consonant, the sibilant. Because of that, ga is going to go back to ka, this first. So a lot of gymnastics to get back where it started. So a lot of times in 7/3, you'll see that it will just be that original letter. Right, we can apply it a little bit more here. We can practice a little bit. Vak, vag, cha. So we have vag, and it's followed by cha, which is a hard consonant. So the ga is going to become first of the class. What's the first of the class for ga? Ka. So it's going to become vak, cha. Tad, kalaha is going to become tat, kalaha. Tad plus te is going to become tat, te. Tyag, just like this, ga is going to become ka. So it's going to be tyak, tyakta. Okay, so that's that. Okay, since we're breaking our brains, I'm going to do one more brain breaking exercise, and then we'll come back and then we'll finish this marut. Okay, this is the next sutra that you'll see in the book. So if you go to the next page, it's called you don't need to know the sutra, but it's Vavasane. What this is going to explain is this is going to explain why in 1-1 do we have two forms, marut and marut. The reason why we have two forms is because when I have a jal, what is jal? Any consonant minus nasal and minus semivowel. When I have that jal followed by an avasana. Avasana means absence of any letter following it, or a period, a full stop, period. So when I have a jal followed by nothing afterwards, I'm going to optionally get char. Optionally, it's going to be first of the class. Right? Char is first of the class plus sibilants. Let me add that in. First of the class plus sibilants. So for example, we have this here. I have a dakara. And this dakara is followed by nothing. It's followed by, there's nothing afterwards, or there might be a period. In that case, this dakara is going to replace by first class or sibilant. So what's the first class of da? So ta, ta, da. So the first one is ta. So you're going to get an optional dakara. So if you look at this here, marut plus sa. Sakara goes away because if the sakara is preceded by a consonant, it's going to go away. Now, what happens after that? You get jashtam sandhi. Jashtam sandhi means that it becomes third of the class, so ta becomes da. After that, you get this optional. There's nothing afterwards, right? There's avasana. There's nothing afterwards because this sakara got removed. So there's nothing here anymore. Because there's nothing there anymore, this dakara can optionally become takara. So both are the option, marut or marud. And we've seen this actually a lot of times. Remember, what's 5-1? Ramat. It can be Ramat or Ramad. Marud, Marud, or Marut. Tasmad or Tasmat. Vidyud or Vidyut. Upanishad or Upanishat. You'll see both. Mundakopanishad or Mundakopanishat. Because of this rule, either can be applied. Vag or Vak, etc., etc. So Bhagavad Gita, right? So I'm Bhagavad Gita. So I have dakara. Sorry, my handwriting isn't the best with this. Dakara followed by a consonant, right? So I have dakara, sorry, 1 second. I have to get rid of this. I have a dakara at the end of it. So this was Bhagavat. Bhagavat, because it's at the end of a pada, this is a consonant at the end of the pada, and because of that, it can become third of the class, Jashtam Sandhi. So then it becomes Bhagavad Gita. Okay. I just want to finish this off here. now what we know is that we can have two forms. We can have suhrit or suhrid. We know that this is not going to change. It's going to become suhrit, su. And because of Jashtam, this is going to become suhrid. Whether you know the sandhi rules or not, right? This is why it happens. So just like suhrid, other words that decline like this are sarvavid, mrid, which means clay, apad, which means calamity, sampad, which means wealth, Upanishad or Upanishad, right? In 1-1. The same thing for should the same thing as all the other ones that we've been saying. It can become should or should. Then you just add shuddho, shuddha, shuddham, shuddho, shuddha, shuddha, shudbhyam, shudbhihi, shuddhe, shudbhyam, shudbhyah. Notice how it becomes da because of Jashtam Sandhi. Shuddha, shudbhyam, shudbhyah. Shuddha, shuddhoho, shuddham. Shuddhi, shuddhoho. This shutsu is because of that car-tva sandhi. Okay, so you have to know this. Shutsu, he shud or he shud, he shuddho, he shuddha. Another word that we get like this is, so should means hunger, but we also get the word samid. Right? We saw the word samid in Mundaka Upanishad, samid panihi. The homework will be to do this exercise number 36. So the reason I was going so fast at the end is because I want to give homework. But they're all basically the same. We just need to, there's a little bit of that car-tva sandhi is a little bit complicated, but that's the reason why we get the 7-3 the way we do. And then we get that optional chartvam. Optional chartvam is why we get 1-1-2. We get two forms like that. Okay. Without knowing that, you can still probably do this exercise, right? And so the main point is to be able to see words in sentences and be able to decline them, right? So, like sarvavit, Upanishadam, Sutra Bhashya Kritau, Suhrida, etc. Right? We can kind of, knowing this, that su ojas amochas, knowing that, we can decline a lot of these much easier now. Now, does anybody have any questions with this? I'll answer about Dhimahi in a second. So in the next class, we'll review some of the answers in this. So try to, let me know which are the most difficult in the beginning of the next class. We can do them, or you can let me know by email, so I'll prepare them ahead of time. And we'll slow it down, right? And we'll go through some of these words. Right, we need to know the sandhi, but it's more, this practice with sentence is a little bit more key. So we'll slow it down a little bit with the sentences. Okay. But look at these wonderful sentences that we can now translate. We have so much access to more words now and more vocabulary. Yeah, can I show one as an exercise? Yeah, I'm gonna let everyone go to break and I'll do that while we're going to break. But I want to answer the dhimahi question. So dhimahi, dhiyo, purvavasvaha tatsavitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi. So dhimahi. So it's dhyai dhatu to meditate. And what we get is we get lot lakara. Lot lakara one will become dhimahi. So I have to pull up the chart to show you, but the 1 of lot lakara is that you get that he, and then it becomes dhimahi. So I'll have to show you the chart to make it more clear, but maybe we can appreciate that as it is for now. Yeah. And someone asked to show one exercise, so we'll do that in a moment, but I want to make sure that everyone gets a little break. Okay? Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.